When you start using Express 365 online accounting, there's a few items that you need to set up first. Okay, for example, we will go through all these settings here. The first one will be the company profile. This is being used in your printout so that when you print out, they will come out the header of your company information. So these are your company name, your SSM information, your addresses, okay, and then the contact details over here. And if you want to upload a company logo, you can click on the upload company logo at the bottom here, and then you look for your logo inside your computer, and then you click on upload. Okay, so the logo will appear on your right side here. When you print out, the logo will be on your left, then the company information will be on the right side of the header there. Ignore the middle part since we are no longer in GST, so you just leave it empty. Okay, and then you click save. This is for company profile. Next is your chart of account. So before you begin using the system, you need to have an existing chart of account. By default, we have the chart account for you. You can key in your own chart account, you can edit your chart account, you can change it according to what you want. Because for example, by default, we don't have the company name. The name is actually called current account 1 and current account 2. So when you come to here, what you need to do, you need to come to here, click on this particular chart of account, change the name to the bank that you are using, okay, or any cash, petty cash, for example, those kind of thing. So you will automatically change to the name that you key in. Okay, so you just select, change the name. Okay, so those operating expenses that you are not using, if you don't want to change the numbering, just you can change the name of it. Okay, the code, once you have entry, you are not able to change the code anymore. But let's say, for example, if the item doesn't have any information inside, you can change the particular code. Okay, so as long as there's no transaction, you can still change the code. If you want to create a new chart of account, you click on new account over here, select the account type, okay, for example, operating expenses. As long as the code is not conflict, okay, for example, I key in 9090/000, I put it rental, for example, I save it. Okay, so if the code already exists, it will let you know that the code already exists. You need to change it to another code. Okay, so as long as there's no conflict, you will be able to save it. Okay, so you can see it's ready inside this list already. But let's say, for example, if I don't want, I can click on the X button. Since I do not have any entry, I can delete it. Okay, so this is for chart of account. The next one, delivery method. Okay, you can add in any delivery method that you want. For example, I can click on new delivery method. I put by hand, for example. Okay, so you can save it. Yeah, shipping by hand, those kind of thing. You can key in as many delivery methods as you want. The usage of it is, let us jump to sales invoice. Okay, under sales invoice here, when you create a new sales invoice, you will notice that there's a delivery method over here for you to choose and delivery terms for you to choose. So under the setting here, this is delivery method, and this is the next one will be the delivery terms. So whatever you key in under here, okay, DAP, FCA, FOB, all these you can select over here. Okay, so all these are for information purpose. Okay, so this is for delivery method, delivery term. Salesperson is also the same. If you look into the sales invoice earlier over here, you can tag this invoice to who issue out this sales invoice. Okay, for example, who is the salesperson for this. So there's a shortcut here. You can click on add new. You can key in the salesperson name, or at the setting here, salesperson, you can create a new salesperson. Then you can create a new salesperson entry over here. Then you can select the location also, so that once this person key in under here, automatically you will change the location also. Okay, but we also have the what we call as link user ID. User ID is that whenever I log in using this user ID to log in, okay, and then it's linked to this particular person. Okay, let's say for example, when I log in using IU, then I can only create and see my own invoice only. Okay, and then the salesperson will automatically be my salesperson name. Okay, so I cannot choose which salesperson to issue out, because at this moment I can choose which salesperson, but if I link the user ID, automatically the code here will be used. Okay, let's say for example this one is HQ, so in under here, under location HQ, so we can see the salesperson linked to IU is ABC, so that when I over here, when I create a sales invoice, automatically the salesperson will be filled up, automatically the location will be filled up. Okay, and you can't change the salesperson anymore. Okay, but the downside to this user ID is that you cannot see other people invoices. Okay, you can see your own invoices only if you use link user ID. Okay, so if you want the one to do your sales entry to see other people entry, then you need to leave it empty for the link user ID. Next one is your tag and tag group. So if you notice in the invoice here, there's a tagging. Okay, you can tag this invoice by project, by a certain tag that you created. Okay, so you go to setting, you can go to tag. Okay, you can click on new tag, put whatever tag that you want, and then in the sales invoice you can select the tag. Okay, so this is for tagging, and then the next one is tag group. Okay, so in one tag group there can be many tags. Okay, so inside the invoice here, this one is tagging, and then in the tag group you can create a group that have many tags, or you have only one group with only one tag. Okay, so this is up to you. The usage of this tag group is normally in your P&L report by tagging, so that when you generate your P&L report, you can analyze it by the tag group. Okay, same as your balance sheet. Next one is your payment terms. So if you notice in your sales invoice, there's a list of all your payment terms that you can choose from. This is where you set up your payment terms. Okay, you can click on new payment terms, due in how many days. Maybe I put 60 days, then the code here I can put 60 days for example. So when I select over here 60 days, okay, so when I print out the invoice, it will show 60 days. Okay, there's other option for you to try in due on specific day of the month. Okay, and the number of month. Okay, maybe day is put 30th. Okay, so after, and the number of months, so after 2 months. Okay, so this one, okay, so for example, let's say you issue your invoice of 2nd of January for example. Okay, so after 2 months, 30th of March for example, this will be the due date. Okay, so the next one will be due in the month end. Okay, this is something similar. This is on the 2nd month it will due. Okay, and the earlier one is on the specific date, maybe on the 15th of the 2nd month. Okay, this is how you select your payment term. Now you can put in some information. Okay, so let's say for example payment can be made by check to SSS bank. Okay, then you click on print as sales invoice at the footer. So whenever you select this code payment term, for example, you select a particular payment term, the description will appear over here, and then when you print it out, it will be printed at the footer. Okay, so if you generally use this particular net 30 days, then you can tick this box for it, so that every time you issue an invoice, automatically this payment term will come up. Okay, so this is for payment terms. Foreign currency, once again, if you go to your sales invoice, you can see that there's an option for different currency. Okay, so if you are doing multiple currency, you need to set up your currency over here. So you click on new currency, for example, you put in the symbol, you put in the name, then you click on get rate. Okay, so these are linked to the Bank Negara. So the rate is always $1 Malaysian ringgit compared with Singapore dollars. Okay, so this will be today's rate. Okay. Next one is the unit of measurement. Again, we will go back to the sales invoice here. You can see all these are your unit of measurement. You can select all of this UM. Okay, meaning let's say for example, I want to sell by boxes, I want to sell by unit. Under the UM here, this is where you key in your own UM. Okay, is free tag, so you can type whatever you want and then you can save it. Okay, both the name symbol and the name. Okay, if you're not using it, okay, you can, let's see, basically we are, okay, for example, all this that I have already used it, so I can't delete it. But let's say I click on new UM, let's say kilometer, for example. Hopefully we do not have this one. Okay, I save it. Okay, so since I do not have any entry for this one, I can straight away click on X, I can delete it. Okay, so since I'm not using it, I can delete it. Or you can set to inactive, so that when you do the sales invoice that time, it will not appear in this particular list if it's inactive. Okay. Next one will be the document number. So basically, when you issue your invoices, or you have the running number over here. Okay, so it's set under settings, document number. So for example, cash sales start with CS 2001-004, for example. Your sales invoice start with IV, for example. If you tick editable on entry screen and then you save it, okay, meaning that this sales invoice, okay, let's say for example, I create a new one. Okay, this is a new invoices. I use the copy to new function. So you see the invoice number, you are able to edit the invoice number that you want. Okay, so from here, IV0156, okay, you can change it to probably IV0157 if you want. For example, you can save it. Okay, click a new one, it will be 018. Okay, so you can go back to this document number. Let us refresh it again. You can see your sales invoice, IV0158 is your next number. Okay, so you can untick it to make it so that this one is not able to edit it as by the user itself. So the next one will be the separate document number. Okay, so if you have different location, you can select the different prefix and the different number, so that each location have different number. Okay, so let's say for example, location A start with a different number, location B start with a different number, so that you know that whenever you see the number, you know that which branch for example, cash sales is being issued. Okay, next one will be custom template. We will skip this one. Okay, next one, in the email, let's say for example, in the sales invoice, in the customer statement, you are able to email out to the customer directly. So these are the sample template that you can set, so that for example, when you email out, it will automatically dear, then it will automatically fill from the customer name. Okay, so you will then all this information will come out, okay, when you send out the email out. So these are where you change the template that you want when you want to send out using the email server of Express 365. Okay, so you have the email template. Okay, the next one is very important. This is under preference. Okay, basically these are the main setting that you need to do before you start. Okay, first of all, if your company is operating in Malaysia, for example, you need to set your base currency in Malaysia. If your company is in Singapore, then you need to change it to SGD, or if your company is in US, you need to change it to USD. Okay, this is your base currency. Then the next one is your date format. Okay, all these are today's date. So basically you can change the format that you want. Okay, next one is your financial year end. You select the end of the financial period. Let's say for example, if your income tax is from January until December, then you put December. Okay, next one, if you notice there's no locking of the transaction, okay, you can based on the date itself, so you can key in during 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and even 2021. But let's say, for example, I set a lock date 1st of April 2020, meaning that any data before 1st of April 2020 cannot be deleted, cannot be edited, okay, and cannot created based on before this date. Okay, you can always come back to this preference to remove it, to unlock it back. Okay, then we have the rounding adjustment for cash sales, meaning that if your cash sales come out with 0.06, for example, then it will help you to round it up. Okay, and then this is the account for the rounding adjustment. Okay, then we also have the invoices. You can have the option to invoice by stock item or account. Okay, so again, I go back to the sales invoice here. You can notice here I can change whether I want to use stock item, meaning from the stock item listing, or if I want to use account, meaning this is from my chart of account. Okay, so if I set both, I can choose. If I set account, it will be fixed at account. Okay, so currently I'm using both. Default payment, what is your default payment in the invoice here? Not in the invoice here, it's in your payment, receive payment. Okay, let's say I click on existing payment. You will notice there's a payment method over here. So over here, default payment method, if you put cash, so whenever you click on new payment, okay, automatically it will show cash. Okay, so if you select other option, it will follow in the option also. Then you have credit limit. Let's say for example, if the customer still owe you this amount of money, 50,000, when you issue a new invoice to this customer, the system will prompt you, letting you know that this customer still owes you 50,000. Do you want to proceed with the invoice or not? You can choose to say yes, and then you can still save the invoice. Okay, or you can choose no. Okay, if you want to cancel the invoice. Okay, so basically these are the general part. Okay, on the left side you have your receivable account. Okay, so meaning that whenever you create a customer account, this account code will be your debtors control account for the customer. and then this one is your creditors. Okay, generally we will advise you not to change the preference on the left side here since it's being set up by the system, unless you know what you're doing and then you want to change the account code, then you can change it. Okay, so basically these are based on receivable account, payable, forex gain and loss. Okay, and then you have your stock also. Then under here is your unit of measurement. Okay, you can choose the basic unit of measurement. So whenever you create a new stock, it will follow this Then you have your quantity. Okay, and then you have the unit price decimal place. Okay, meaning there's a 30 at the behind the decimal point. Okay, then these are others. If you want to record quantity in goods received note and GR, then you can take it. If you want to restrict user to select the UAM, then you can take it. This one do not allow user to proceed if the stock is negative. Then the high unit cost and amount you want to. So all these are all the options that you can do, okay, if you want. And then you can also have access control, meaning certain person can only log in during which period and cannot log in during which period. Okay, so these are the general that you need to fill up under preference. Then we also have printing preference, meaning when you print out your invoices, your DO, you can change a little bit of the information. Okay, for example, when you want to print your sales invoice, it will always be printed in compact format. There's no signature required. Okay, you would allow it to reprint. So once you print your invoice again, you cannot reprint it again unless it's a duplicate copy. Okay, so if you want to include the maybe a delivery order number, quotation number, you will include it inside. It will include the customer code and also the item code. Also, if you take it, if you untake, it won't show the item code, but it show the item description. When you print your invoices, how many copy will come out, how many duplicate copy it will come out. Okay, so these are the changes that you can you make to your printout. This is the logo, meaning that earlier on in the setting company profile, if you upload your company logo, you can change the size of the logo. Okay, over here. Okay, and then if you have branches, if you want to print out instead of your company profile the address, you want to print out based on your branch, then you take this one and then it will be printed in the branch itself. Okay, so these are the little bit of things that you can change on your printout. Okay, so these are printing preference. Next is the opening balance. Before you begin using the system, you need to let the system know what is your opening and what is the amount. Okay, so right now I have 1st of July 2018. Okay, these are based on your preferably if you already audited your account, then you can use your audit report. Okay, based on your balance sheet item, you can key in over here. Don't be confused, there's two parts. The bottom part is actually just for the bank cash and bank information, but you look at it as an overall because your debit and credit must be balanced before you can save it. Okay, so you must be balanced, then only you can save it. Okay, so if you notice here, we have debtors control account, meaning before 1st of July 2018, I have this customer that still owes me money. And the creditors, I still owe my supplier money. Okay, so when the customer wants to pay me back after this date, after this opening date, okay, I need to have the record of their invoices and also the supplier invoices also for creditors control account. This can be done under setting, opening balance, historical invoices for your debtors, historical supplier for your creditors. Okay, so I go to the debtors part. Okay, I have existing one. If not, you click on new historical invoices. Okay, over here you have, let's say I create a new one for this customer. So I will put before my opening balance. So that one is before 1st of Jan 2018, I can key in the invoice number and then the amount that the customer still owes me. Once I save it, it will go down into the bottom list here. Okay, so if I go to list, the total of all these invoices must be the same as in my chart of account debtors amount. Okay, so same as the supplier invoices also, you can record it as individual invoices also can, which is preferably, or you can just one lump sum of all your invoices into one particular lump sum, so that after July 2018, as my example, you can key in the, let's say for example, this one is before 2018, just not to confuse you. Okay, so all this amount, we one lump sum it, so over the year they can make payment, they can knock off for this total amount. Okay, so they can do the receive payment and purchasers make payment for both the supplier and customer. Okay, next one is the unpresented check. So same concept also, meaning that if there's a deposit or there's a payment using check but that haven't been cleared before your opening. Okay, so since my opening is 1st Jan 2018, so for example for this particular bank, okay, so before 1st of Jan 2018, okay, I have an existing check with an existing amount. Okay, so whether it's a deposit or it's a payment, then you can key in the reference number for this particular payment and save it. So when you do the bank recon later on, okay, bank recon, this transaction will be there for you to knock off, okay, to do the bank recon. This is for historical unpresented check. The next one will be the item opening balance. Okay, so let's say for example, if you are start using the system and you already have existing stock, you would need to let the system know what is the stock available. Okay, so for example, this is the item that I have. Okay, so I click on new one. This is the item code. Okay, you put in the amount, the unit cost, then you save it. Okay, it will be inside this entry. So if you check your stock balance, okay, as of your opening date, okay, so all this quantity will be there already. Okay, if not, generally, once you purchase, key in your supply invoice, the inventory will be at the stock inventory will be add in, and if you do your sales, the stock will deduct from your stock inventory. Okay, so this is for your stock opening balance for existing stock quantity. Next one is the setup user. You can create new user for your staff. Okay, we click on new user. Okay, so you can key in the name, who is the staff name. Okay, let's say Alex for example. Then this is the user ID. You can use it using email ID also can, or you can just put any name and then the password. Okay. Okay, if you want to allow this person to see all the modules, you can just click admin user. Okay, meaning that this person can also create users. Okay, if you don't want to let this person be an administrator, you just select your company name. Okay, and then what is the role? Okay, so let's say for example it's a business owner, okay, or a business staff for example. Then you can save it. Okay, it will be based on the role this person can access. Okay, so for business role, let us go to manage user role to let you know how to set up the user role. Okay, so we have quite a number of user role. You click on new user role. Okay, for example, I click on existing one. The easiest way is select the category so that it will filter by the category. Okay. Next one, you can put in the row of the name. For example, right now I only want my staff to only see sales only. Okay. So in the customer activity over here, okay, you can see the cash sales, credit note, debit note, DO, everything is the same over here. Okay, so I just take it, meaning this person can view, they can print, they can modify, they can delete, and then they can create a new entry. Okay, for those that is not take, meaning that this person, they are unable to go to the specific activity, meaning that this person, even though they have the sales able to go in, but they cannot view the customer invoice, they cannot print the customer invoice until I take it. Okay, so I save the user role and then I go back to the setup user to assign the user role to that particular person. And then the last one is the view user activity log. Okay, this one is generally, let's say for example, if you found out that your invoices is missing, you cannot find a specific transaction, you can use this one to track back what happened to that particular record, meaning that you know that someone created, someone modified, and then you look for the action for deleted, so you know that for example the invoice have been deleted, those kind of thing if it's missing. Okay, so to filter up all this, you just select from when until when is the entry being done, and then which module is being used. Okay, so let's say for example I want to check my cash sales, for example, from 2019 until today. I retrieve it. Okay, so you can see all this modified and then created related to this cash sales module. Okay, if you want to take a look, you can click on the blue color there. It will bring you to the particular module, to that particular transaction. Okay, so this is all for the setting up. Okay.